board told them they couldn't do it, so I don't know.
So is the property for sale? Is the property also for sale?
It has been up for sale. I don't know what it is right now.
So we don't know if they're wanting to change it to sell it or under a different zoning or to
This,
use it?
the regular thing, original thing over there, the guy built it as agriculture. He was gonna use it for his own personal use. You have to know the guy, because
Yeah.
his philosophy is go ahead and do what you wanna do and ask forgiveness later. So he built that to work on his own equipment. Well, then he ended up working on trucks and Fort Loudon electrical stuff, and then road tractors, didn't have nothing to do with farming. So,
You were talking about the builder, like it's TSC Precision.
pardon?
Yeah,
Okay. You did build the one about 3 years ago.
he's wondering if that was the building company.
Yeah,
The one by that kind of pond that sometimes has water in it, it's beige, it's,
okay, permitted uses and structure, railroad and motor vehicle transportation, aircraft transportation, marine transportation, communication facilities, public utilities, wholesale trade, retail trade, building material, hardware, and farm equipment, warehousing and storage, agriculture processing, food and kindred products manufacturing, not including meat products manufactured, textile mill products manufacturing, apparel or other finished product manufacturing made from fabrics and similar materials, lumber and wood products manufactured, furniture and fixtures manufactured, printing, publishing, allied industries, rubber and miscellaneous plastic products manufactured, stone, clay, and glass products manufactured, professional, scientific, and controlling instruments manufactured, small article manufacturing, jewelry, musical instrument, toys, pens, pencils, and other office and artistic material, costume jewelry, tobacco, and motion picture production, as used for structural customary incident to the above uses. Sign and billboards subject to the provision of 6-604. Sexually orientated businesses. Prohibited uses and structures. Any use or structure not specified permitted or permitted on the review by the Board of Zoning Appeals is prohibited. Area regulations, all buildings and structures shall be located so as to comply with the following maximum requirements. And they've already met all the requirements for the building itself.
Has the driveway been approved?
Pardon?
Understanding when you put a driveway in, it's supposed to be approved. Since he didn't approve anything else, did he actually approve the driveway? That's, when you come around that turn, that driveway's right there. I was just wondering if that's something, I don't know, maybe zoning doesn't cover that, but if nothing else was approved, was the actual access to that thing approved?
They had to get that, to be able to put a tile in, they had to get approval from the state. They originally was gonna put that driveway right there on the curve, and we complained about it. I called Doug Gomes, we got with the state, got that moved back up that other way. So,
So the driveway is approved.
yeah. Anytime you put a tile going on that state road, you're gonna have to go through the state to get that, so it's approved. Any more?
is this one of those things that has to be talked about 3 times before it's voted on, or you're making the decision tonight?
We have already voted on
Oh,
one time. There'll be a second reading tonight to pass that. Loudoun County has already approved everything. It
okay.
just
So
has-
you only have to do it twice?
Any more? Okay. Now, see. That's all. Christy Muncy is gonna be our new council member. She's a young one.
Baby, I'm not
Baby,
there yet.
a baby, yeah. Okay. Christy, would you tell them, like, you went to Greenback School,
Yes, I have very, very deep roots.
Yeah.
in Greenback.
and where you work?
I went to Greenback, graduated a long, long time ago. And I work for UT Medical Center. I'm a nurse in the cancer center there, full time. So, and I have a child in Greenback.
Well, if you'll stand up.
Okay, stay back.
If you'll, repeat after me, Christy. I, Christy Muncy,
I, Christy Muncy,
do solemnly swear that
do solemnly swear that
I will perform with fidelity
I will perform with fidelity
the office of Alderman to which I have been elected.
the office of Alderman to which I have
I
been elected.
do hereby make oath that I will
I do hereby make oath that I will
discharge all duties incumbent
discharge all duties incumbent
unknown to me
unknown to me
to the best of my ability.
to the best of my ability.
I make oath that
I make oath that
I have not been provided,
I have not been provided,
given,
given,
nor will I give any free
nor will I give any free
gifts or gratuities
gifts or gratuities
or reward for this office.
or reward for this office.
I make oath that
I make oath that
I will follow the Constitution of the State of Tennessee
I make oath of the Constitution of the State of Tennessee
and the Charter
and the Charter
and the ordinance
and the ordinance
of the City of Greenback.
of the City of Greenback.
I make oath that
I make oath that
I will faithfully execute the duties
I will faithfully execute the duties
of Alderman
of Alderman
of the City of Greenback, Tennessee,
of the City of Greenback, Tennessee,
to the best of my ability.
to the best of my ability.
This 14th day of January, I welcome you aboard, dear. Okay. I'll call the meeting to order. I'll have the roll call. I'll call Christie first. Here.
Here.
Johnny? Here. Netta? Delmer?
Here.
Aye, we're all here. The adoption of the January 14th agenda.
I move to adopt the agenda. I'll second.
All in favor? Aye. The reading and the acceptance of the December 10th, 2019 regular scheduled mayor and alderman meeting minutes.
I'm not the one who accepted it, so I'm gonna read it.
I'll second.
Okay. All in favor? Aye. Aye. So carried. The financial report. Do you have any questions on that?
I wrote the finance report, I'll make a motion to accept it.
I'll second that motion.
All in favor? Aye. So carried.
Roll call.
I did.
No, we have to have a roll call.
I called it everyone, you know.
Christie? Yes. Johnny?
Aye.
Linda?
Linda,
Aye.
Bill?
I do get corrected.
That's good. It's good
Yeah,
for you.
it's good.
It has to
We're
do
good.
with money, we have to have roll call.
Okay. Okay. Now, council remarks. Let me get you last.
Doesn't matter.
I'd just like to say to Christie, I'm glad she decided that she would come on and help us. We need all the help we can get.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
John, got anything? Christie? Well, again, I want to ask you again, when you said that they were going to take care of that problem out there at that Osinkin Creek and Morganton, is it going to be in time this year, 2020, or is it going to be 21, or did they set a day, or?
I've got one of them shovels.
Yeah, you going to give it to me?
I'm gonna give it to you. Well, I just found out that we're allowed to dig 18 inches down.
Okay.
So, this brings up another thing about, we don't have the equipment to clean out ditches, clean out towns. So that's one thing that I want the council members to think about, is a small backhoe for the front bucket, because I've already talked to Eddie and Billy Pickle. When you pave these roads, there's certain works you have to do on these roads to get the side where the dirt's all piled up on them and get that cleared away. I think in the past, they just started coming in, and we need to change some things. So, if the city council members will think on that, that's one of the projects that I'd like to get, because, and I want to thank, Roger and Bob. They do a good job. Bob's down on his knees cleaning out a gutter this morning, so, you know, the good part about it is I don't have to really stay on their back. When they go on their own and do it and then tell me later. So that's a good thing. And you're gonna get your thing fixed. I seen that the other day. I stopped and looked at it, and people are driving off in it. But I just got that cleared with Billy last week on how far we can dig, and I've got a notice in there on my office sheet to call the guy from TDOT to get that cleared. I'm gonna try to get them to do it.
Well, I was thinking that you said that they were going to do it.
Well,
That they were going to clean out that, because you got a pipe under there that actually, that water backs up even into the sidewalk or going towards the Presbyterian church thing.
well, they tell you you're gonna do things, they ain't fixed the red light on 411 highway yet either. So it's just, you have to go through the channels and figure out when they're gonna do it. And, but, yeah, I'm not gonna put you off. I may have to give you the shovel.
I can do it.
Anyway,
We got Tommy Lee down there, he's got a backhoe.
yeah,
We can hire him.
yeah. Well, I'm gonna get cleared through the state first.
All right?
I don't need the state coming down on me.
No, we don't.
Anyway. Johnny, you got anything?
Yes, sir.
Christie? Okay. Old business. Our attorney couldn't be here tonight. This is dealing with the lawsuit with the fire department. They put it off till August. How in the world, I don't know, 3 times that a judge could put that off on account of one attorney. I got my ideas. I don't really understand it. They don't speak to me, and so, but like I say, we're not gonna put them down, nothing like that. We're just gonna do business as the law says. And I'm pretty sure that we're gonna get our land back. But I want you all to know that the holdup is Tom wants me to sign off on He's not responsible for any other thing that comes up that he done. And I don't think that I can do that and be honest with the people of Greenwood. Because if I do, then we're liable for it. And I just can't go down that road. So, now, we got the second reading of this ordinance.
You didn't finish.
I didn't.
Oh,
I'm not on your business.
I thought you just said,
On this
you just discussed the lawsuit, now you're on the new business.
second reading of the rezoning ordinance, we got to vote on it.
Oh, okay, sorry.
Okay. We had already voted on this one time, so it has to be read a second time. It was advertised in the paper, we've done it by the law. So, I'm gonna call for a vote.
I move we accept.
Are we gonna read it?
Read it.
Read the very top part, an ordinance amending.
Amended the zoning map of the city of Greenback, Tennessee, pursuant to 13-7-203 and 13-7204 of the city code, nominate to rezone approximately 3.19 acres located at Highway 95 on tax map 080 parcel 014.00 from A1 agricultural forestry district to M1 light industrial. So, all those,
Who makes a motion?
I so move we do that.
I second.
Roll call. Chrissy?
Aye.
Johnny?
Aye.
Aye.
so, hopefully they'll put something in there that we can get a lot of taxes off of, and get back to our way. Okay. Okay, the new business, consideration of amending budget to pay for city events through the 2019-2020 fiscal year in the amount of $1,500.
Can I speak? No,
Not yet. I actually discussed this, and I actually thought if we could allow a budget for at least $2,000. I don't think that she'd be using the $2,000, but I think a budget of $2,000 for the year would be sufficient.
Well,
Actually, this is just another item we're putting in the budget for future use too, right?
I got this expenditures. The 4th of July, we spent $1,020. Spent $500 on fireworks. We had a good time. The music was $200. That Dunkin' booth can meet the flu just about. That was $100.
So worth it. Would have been worth it for two.
Porta potties, $220. Total for that year was $1,020. The hoedown, the music was $525. That bouncy house for the kids was $180. Porta potties, $220. We spent $925. For Christmas, the music was $100. Porta potties, $220. Total Christmas, we only spent $320. Boy, Santa Claus is good to us. Okay, Easter 2019 was undertaken by volunteers. The estimated cost for the Easter for 2020 is $300. And the grand total was $2,565. You want to raise it?
I think the budget, she could be under, but that would give her, you already over, your $2,565, so I think a budget of 2,000 should be sufficient for the year 2020. I make a motion that we give her $2,000 for the budget of her events.
Now, there's already some that we use miscellaneous and that kind of stuff already, don't we? Right?
Would you like me to explain?
Yeah.
Over.
Okay, what this is all about, this isn't to budget for a whole year.
Yeah.
This is just to increase, to give her more, the money in the budget to cover what's been spent so far and for the Easter program. So we've had $1,000 that was already spent out of money in the budget. So we need an extra $1,500 to bring it up to the about $2,500. And then when our new budget comes out, we will figure out how much she needs for the whole year. This is just to put something in place to get us through the end of June.
Yeah.
This year is, but the $2,000 would be voted on to where that would be what her budget would be for the year.
Well, that will be discussed when we
When
start
we
the
get
budget for
Yeah, we start the budget.
2020-21.
So when we do the budget for 2021, we're gonna look at this as a
Exactly,
item in the budget.
yes.
Okay.
We just got to remember, this is for the town and
That's
the
right.
people's in it.
That's right.
And I'll bring you up to date. Since I started in 1 year, we've saved $127,000 in this city. That'll tell you how things are working.
That's crazy.
We're working at it. It's just gonna take all of us to work together to get this town right back up where it needs to be and the people in it. And I think that the stuff for the 4th of July, the whole down to Christmas, and that Easter thing that we had, I never seen so many kids here in my life. No, 2,000 eggs, but we had a great time even with the rain. So as long as we're doing it for the community, I'm all for it. So.
That's the reason, so are you saying that you're not going, it has to be voted on since I made a motion to allow her a budget of $2,000 for her benefits?
No, if no one seconds it, it doesn't have to be voted on.
How?
If no one seconds it, it dies.
Well, that's what I say, I mean, I know that you've added $1,500 to compensate for what has already been spent. So I make a motion for $2,000 for her budget.
Second?
Yeah, I guess I'm confused. Is that the budget for the rest of this year to go for what we've already done, just to,
Yes,
Including
the rest
what
of
we've already
this year.
spent,
including what we've already
because
spent?
we have to.
Which this is what we've already spent.
Yeah.
And so that is,
No, we haven't quite spent that because the Easter hasn't happened yet.
So your $1,500 is what? Based off this?
No, we'll be about 300. We'll have 300 left. When you consider all the expenses that were, everything that was spent so far, everything but the $300 has already been spent.
Yeah, I'll second the 2,000.
You got a second?
Okay, so we need, Delmer,
Yeah.
Mary, Linda,
Okay.
John,
Thank
Christie.
okay.
Yes.
Okay. We have a consideration of providing the town of Greenbelt mayor and aldermen with a stipend. Open for discussion.
With a what?
The stipend. You pay for it.
No, Lord.
Johnny?
Linda, you want to discuss?
Well, I'm the one brought it up. I had Deborah put it on the agenda because I think with what Dwayne does in the amount of time, I don't think he does anything else because he's here all the time, you know. And I think he ought to be compensated for that. And, you know, the city councilman, you know, I try to make the town, I care about the people in the town. You know, when I first moved here, I actually asked myself, what have I got into? It took me a while, but I've learned to grow and love this little town. And I like to participate in a lot of events that their coordinator does, and the concern is for the people. So I think that the city councilmen ought to get compensated for the job that they do as well. So I had to put on there that the city councilman gets paid $200 a month, and I had to put on there that the mayor gets $500 a month. So if y'all want to discuss it more, or anybody want to make a motion? If you want to add more to it, we've got the money.
I don't doubt that, but I would like to see whether other small towns like us are paying city aldermen, say paying mayor. I don't know for sure. I'd like to know what kind of state requirements that's going to come in on us to go to paying, or whether there's any, I don't know. But we just got through with the ethical statement we have to fill out every year. Now, I know that will change, and instead of you just being able to say it's a non-payable thing and you just check the thing and you send it back in, you're gonna report all of your finances to them once you start paying. Well, I don't.
Talk about $1,200 a year.
No, what we get paid, that's not it. What are they gonna do with your income when they want you to make your reports? It might be that I'd rather not get $1,200 and not have food with their report, you know? I'd like to
You're
know
allowed
what
to
the,
make some
I'd like
money
to,
once you draw, okay?
that's not got anything to do with what I'm saying. I would like to know what their requirements is gonna be on us before I go into that. I'd like to know all of the stipulations and everything that would be involved. I'm not necessarily opposed to it, and I'm not necessarily for it, but
Well, it's open for discussion. It's,
I'd like to know what rules and regulations we're gonna be looking at, if we do.
You can call Task or either call Alicia in Nashville. She can answer all those questions.
That's a good job. Find out all those questions.
I'm for it anyway, so you won't know. I can call her and I can ask her if you want to.
Well, I think we ought to look into it. We need to check with the other cities, just to have the background to back it up, you know, and this thing here, it's a new thing, and I'll guarantee you, the Facebook will light up that Dwayne Birchfield brought all this, you know, and they're gonna downgrade me and throw me out to the woods, but I've been in the bar past before.
They do
So,
that now, don't they?
They do that now, you know. But, you know, it's went down as far as my family's been threatened. I ain't gonna worry about it. Good Lord's gonna guide us. We're doing good. So, as long as we are together, we'll make this town work. It's a challenge to get people to volunteer when they haven't had anything reason to volunteer for 40 years, so, you know, and we got some great people here. It's a pleasure to work with with them. You know, it makes me feel good that I can call on Tommy or Charlie Osborne or any of the guys in this town right here. They'll just come up and do it. So, I think we're working in the right direction. I can only do what the law says. These lawsuits, they keep on. That means that I've got to dig deeper. And when the lawsuit with the fire department, maybe that's all said and done, I got a bad feeling that I'm going to have to talk to the comptrollers, because they already know. And then this has all got to do with their grants. They're out there. We got to get it cleared up. As long as this lawsuit's going on, we can't apply for any grants. But like I say, I think we've been doing a good job.
I think so too.
So-
John, you got any comments on
Johnny?
Oh, you want to comment for me?
it? Yeah.
I will say this. I will say that, me personally, this past year has not been good, so there's many of these events that I was unable to attend. One due to work related or sickness or what, but me personally, when somebody, wants it, when the citizens elect, especially the mayor in general, my opinion is the mayor should be compensated for the work done. Me personally, I would not, I don't want the $200 or whatever that is. It can just go back into the city or donate it to a charity or whatever that is. So that is, for me personally, you know, there's a lot of things that people do to,
You have a favorite charity?
I could find a favorite charity if I had to, but, I would not accept, myself, I would not accept the money. It's not that I wouldn't vote against it. I mean, if it was other people and we find out more information, but me personally, I would not accept it, probably donate it somewhere, so that's just my 2 cents on that subject.
Well, we can table it until we do a little more research of what them can find out about it, and we can table it tonight if you want to.
Well, I can tell the council members, they can check with the other cities. They can do their homework. But I would like to know, because I know it's gonna come in, they're gonna slap me in the face from what all's went on. But when you can save 127,000,
These speaks for itself.
people are working. So,
Is this open for public comment?
We'll just table it.
Not yet, not till public comment.
I make a good time.
Okay, I'd second that.
Did they have a vote on it? All right, I'll open it up to the citizens' comments. Okay.
Did you say your name? Just so
Richard Caldwell, 615 County Lane. I do a lot of work in public industry. Water boards, typically they get stipends for board meetings, $57 a board meeting. It's something to cover expenses and transportation costs and the time that you do. I think in a small town, you make a good point that, you know, it may be looked at as, you know, the Greenback has been through a lot in the last 40 years, and especially last year, a lot of public publicity in the papers. Be smart about it, about what to do. so you don't end up paying taxes on it as you donate it to charity. Might toss an offer in there that if Alderman wants to refuse it, they can refuse it and it stays in the budget. Donate to charity, some other things, there's some tax implications, but I do support it. I think it's something that a small stipend is a good idea. Helps do that, but the public idea there, you know, what their opinion is going to be, should be taken into consideration.
He just added to his list of public gratitude, you know, he just added another one there. It can't hurt no more than what he's already been through with it.
Anyone else?
I will. I'm Wendy Fitzworth with the City Events team, and I want to give a big shout out to two of my members who are here, the only two that are here, I guess, so hello. And we're still working, we have a meeting tomorrow, I think, right, to discuss some things. And I'd like to bring Christian up here. Can you come up here just a second, please?
Dress for the
Yeah,
occasion.
thank you. I just wanted to, this is Christian Morris, and he is one of the people that are at Century Harvest Farms, and they are joining with us, with the city, to help provide some really great things going on with our city, and will be an integral part of our events situation. They will offer up their place, they will help offer up food, things like that, and so I would like to give a thank you to them for what they're doing for us, so thank you very much. Okay. And I want to thank the council immensely for approving funds. It helps when I'm not calling and going, please, 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 please. At least it gives us a way to figure it out. 4th of July is an expensive thing to do with the $500 in fireworks, but that was probably the biggest turnout for an event we've ever had in our town, ever, you know, as far as that goes. And some of those things will go toward, like when we bought the corn husks to be on the telephone poles, or if, and I was discussing earlier that if we have funds left over, that we might put the overage into enhancing our Christmas lights or things like that. So we really want to build that up as far as that goes. It might not seem like much, but you would not believe how many comments we get from people when we put things like that, and it just makes people happy, and happy is a good thing. And so we don't want to get people into the situation where they have to volunteer for every single event coming through. We love when people do, but sometimes you can kind of wear people out like that. So having this money allows us to take some of that responsibility on as a city and let them know that we're gifting that to our community because we value them as people. And I really appreciate opening that. So thank you.
Anyone else?
I have a question, I stand up.
Yeah, you can stand up. Tell your name.
I'm Sean Muncy. My question is, you budgeted, it's not a budgeting, I understand, but you said $2,000.
That's a budget.
How much have you already spent with Easter eggs? How much would that be total?
Well,
If you do Easter,
she now has $800 left over.
out of that 2,000.
Yeah.
So she's only spent 1,200 so far. From
No,
in this-
we had
in this
extra
fiscal
money
year.
that was put in miscellaneous that she's been working out of.
So will that miscellaneous go away and be part of this? What I'm trying to get at, your figures are more than $2,000.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
what she's spending part of the 19 and 20 for what she's gonna have to do for Easter. Her budget for the whole entire year is only gonna be $2,000. She cannot go above that.
Well, I think it needs to be
No,
more
no,
than that.
no, what you voted on was an additional 2,000.
No, it wasn't. I was budgeting, period, a year,
Yeah, it's not
$2,000.
budgeting. I think you-
We're budgeting for the year. We were,
You're making up for what's out there and what's
but
going to
yeah,
happen.
what we're doing, yeah.
My comment is,
We're
when
looking
you do
ahead.
get to the budget meeting, which I know we're not there yet, I would suggest as a citizen, take into consideration what you spent this year and not come up with the $2,000 mark. If you come up with $2,900, you need to go $3,000. Because if she spent that this year, you can't take it back away from her and say, oh, you can't spend that much and handcuff her. As a citizen, I say if it's $3,000, make it $3,000. If the funds are there, let's do this. That's my comment.
My comment is I would like it to be $18,000. That would be great.
Well,
You're gonna redo the whole town, aren't you?
if I'm understanding right, all we did tonight was to vote to give her that money.
To cover what's outstanding.
Consider the rest of the year.
Right, that's what that was for.
And our year starts in July.
And that's what I'm saying, when you start your fiscal year at July 1st,
And then
when
we'll
you do
consider,
vote on the
then
budget,
we'll consider
take
the
that
budget.
consideration. Exactly. Take consideration what you actually spent last year. Don't come in here and say $2,000 and you spent 29, because you're just gonna handcuff her. And we're gonna put a limit on something that we, and then the next year, you whatever you can do. That's I want to keep that in your ears, not to think it's $2,000. Take
Well-
consideration what the actual expenses are.
And don't give them the opportunity to handcuff me, because
And then, too, this is a thing that we haven't dealt with in the budget before.
Right.
So, you know, I feel like if Deborah sees that this is gonna take care of her through the rest of the year.
Right. Sure, and you've done that, you voted on that tonight, I mean, that's tough.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, when you get to that point, which I'm probably premature in this, I just want to, because I hear 2,000, I'm thinking, wait a minute, that's not a good number if you actually gonna budget for it, you can't budget 2,000 next year. You got that consideration, what you spent, if you want to do that again, well, she's not gonna do it for 2,900, it's gonna be probably 31, you know, things go, it changes. I'm just saying, when you get to that point, consider what you spent last year.
Well, from past, what we have already done,
Yeah,
like at the 4th of July, the turnout was unreal.
all it was all right.
It's bound to get better.
and bigger.
And to me, that's a good thing if the people in this town come out, want to come out. And we got people that's wanting to move down here. I'm telling you, I get calls about every day looking for a place to rent.
Well, and we're fortunate to have people who volunteer to look at Kathy Neely. You're at everything. I mean, you're just, every time they have something, it's like, what can I do, what can I do? I wear that girl out, but I mean, it's nice to have people who always show up, you know, you always show up. I mean, it's nice, but then again, you need to have the funds to where if somebody doesn't want to do all the work, they don't have to, which is good.
Well, last year, because I had discussed this with Wendy, everything was a learning process by trial and error. So we know where we can cut corners because we've already been down that road. I think Wendy and the ones that was involved with her in it had done a marvelous job in trying to get everything together. And like Wendy said, you know, trying to get everybody to volunteer all the time, you can't do it. You know, people, they just get burnt out. And I thought $2,000 was a sufficient amount myself, and
It is to cover the rest of this year. I'm talking about the next fiscal year.
well, I know you have to go with the cost of living. I know, I don't go to the grocery store and spend the same amount of money on an item that I buy all the time because next time it may be higher or may be lower. So I know there is a cost of living. You have to consider that as well.
I did receive 7 harmonicas for Christmas, so
Oh,
I'll say
yeah?
the music from this next year will be taken care of,
Well,
so
you're gonna have to play a song.
that's no problem.
I guess you're gonna.
And all the metal work, right? You're gonna, all the metal work, right? You're gonna
Yeah.
Just kind of weld
And
everything,
harmonica,
yeah.
that'd be great, yeah. Can we melt those harmonicas now?
I have a, I'm not gonna stand because my head will be in front of that camera. Oh, okay. Say your name.
Heather Jolliffe, regarding the budget. So 4th of July would be budgeted in June, right? I guess what I'm saying is it would be hard to budget for 4th of July if you didn't know what you were getting until June. Because you could change your mind and say, you know, we don't want to do it. So as far as planning for the future, perhaps July 4th should always be on the previous year's budget. So that going into planning July 4th, you know what you have. You're not trying to hope you get what you need. Does that make sense? Because if you don't vote on the budget for July 4th or until June the 14th, then how do you plan? And the further out you plan, the cheaper your music will be, or because you're not trying to, you know, book everything at the last minute. So that's my suggestion, to maybe alter the budgeting for the events to include the 4th of July and
That would have to go under the mayor and the city council and do the budget.
But it's just something to think about as far as planning for the next year's budget to include the 4th of July on the previous years, not,
I think it can go onto the next agenda, and we can kind of figure out how much we want, or the next one, or the one a few months before that July timeframe. Figure out
Right.
how much that cost will be, and we can estimate that, and then come budget time, we'll be planning
right.
the next July.
Right, I just was saying, just thinking, you need to plan that in advance, so
right.
things will,
Right.
You're right. Thank you.
Okay. I have something else.
Okay,
I just sat down
something
because
else
it
too.
was a different thing.
Go ahead.
Do you want me to stand since it's a different matter?
Yeah.
She wants.
Yeah, sorry. We're trying to keep it classy around here.
So, on February 2nd of this year, I'll mark my 3rd anniversary as a resident in Greenback. I've been very happy here. It's, my mother always told me that if you go out and about in the community and you see people you know, that you found your home. And so I've lived many different places and never run into people I know, but here repeatedly, I run into people I know in Maryville or Greenback or whatnot. So I consider this home. What I wanted to bring up was planning for the future. And something that has been on my mind is ordinances. And maybe we have some, maybe we don't. If we do, I have no idea what they are as a citizen or as a city property owner. But I would like to see us perhaps create some ordinances. I would like to see it be, my idea is for it to be a citizen-led effort to discover what we might want. So I think it should be like a year-long process. People who want to be a part of it will research, we will see what other towns have that are reasonable. I'm not looking for things that are unreasonable. I've lived in unreasonable communities. But I'm thinking that things like garbage management, so we don't have garbage that's piled up, strewn across the properties, dogs that are tied up on chains, and I don't know. And we have a huge skunk problem that could be related to the fact that there's garbage out. People burning, I'm all for if you want to burn your garbage, but you're not letting it sit out for weeks on end. So, but my goal, my suggestion or idea is that we have citizens who work and research so that it doesn't fall upon the city council to come up with everything.
I think, Claire, that we've got city ordinance or a lot of the things that you talked about. If you see something that you think it needs addressed, you can come to one of your councilmen
Well,
on.
where do we find those city ordinances?
Here, no.
Deborah, you can ask Deborah.
Yeah, they have policies of them and where you can go through and.
Okay, and we call one of you and say, so we have ordinances against dogs being chained up?
Yes, well,
Okay.
Not chained.
ordinances, no dogs is to be loose in the city limits.
Well, that's
period.
different from a dog living on a chain for all of its life,
Well,
that
it's
might
their-
not have access to water.
It's their personal property, that little dog is, so I don't think we have a law that can say,
Well,
well,
if you create city ordinances, do then. And I'm just thinking about planning, and to be, no disrespect towards anyone that has anything. I'm not looking to take away someone's livelihood or anything, but, we have some properties that have many, many cars that are not operable. So, like, maybe there should be, like, you can only have 15 inoperable cars and not 25 inoperable cars. And the reason I'm suggesting this is because it all reflects on our property value. If you go to want to sell your home, sadly, your neighbor's property is going to affect the sale of your home. And we are a growing community. People
there is a city ordinance on it, Heather. And
Okay.
and Deborah, she can give you a copy of any.
Well, who knew?
There you go.
Problem
And one
solved.
thing that I would suggest is to, if you wanted to start a citizen discovery team, let's say, that type of thing, is there are lots of communities that have those. They are not affiliated with a governmental entity, so it wouldn't be affiliated with the council. However, there's nothing stopping you from starting that. Absolutely, completely to have a community team like that, and I'll be more than happy to show you how to start that off or kickstart that. It would be a thing you could do.
Do
And
people think it's a need, or am
I think probably we would just put some feelers out there and see if it was a need. Do you know what I'm saying? It might
Right.
just be that you're easily bought. I'm just kidding. You're not really just.
Heather, if the people, they need to know that if they got a question, they can come to this
Why
office
don't
here,
they
or they can ask one of the members here.
And
Deborah
please call
said,
call your council members. They're there for you.
we sit right over there in that corner for about 3.5 hours, going with the state, going over ordinance.
well, could it be that a goal would be to get those ordinances uploaded to the city website so that I don't have to come down here and ask, but I
Can
can
you do
say,
that this
oh.
week?
You can call them, because I'm going to California to see my granddaughter.
Because
I could get with you and
as
see
a
if we could do that.
prospective owner or looking to buy a house, I mean, I had no idea we had these ordinances. I didn't even know we had a city government. I didn't even know my house was in the city of Greenback until we had an election.
Right,
I
I
found
mean,
out I was within the
We
city.
can meet on that and talk about getting those uploaded. I can meet with Deborah after she's back from her fabulous vacation and see if we can come in and scan those in. Put them on the city's website.
You know, and another thing you've got to look at is regardless of what the city wants to do and what they try to do, you can pass an ordinance, but when you go to crossing that property line on their property, you have something different to look at.
well,
Because I can't come in and tell you, you can't wash your dishes with Tide, you've got to use some other kind. So, I mean, that's an extreme stretch.
I've lived many places, and there are ways, there, you know,
There's
communities
ways
tell
to-
you can only have 2 horses per, 5 acres or something like that, and you can police those things. We say and maybe we just don't want that. And I'm not trying to say that I want us to live by a very strict rule of things, but I am thinking that long term, we just, collectively want to keep our community nice
I
and
think
pretty
that-
and, and
I think most ordinances evolve from an issue. Do you know what I mean? Like, somebody found an issue that somebody had 342 pigs on an acre in the middle of town. That kind of-
Right.
Do you know what I'm saying? And so they brought it before the council and like, we've got to get this fixed. I mean, it pretty much is an issue
Right.
that happens. And so we're not out looking for issues, but if there is an issue that you would like to discuss with other people in the community, just to bounce off of, there's absolutely nothing wrong with doing that. There's absolutely nothing wrong with approaching any council member at any time whatsoever about that. And find one you're comfortable with and just, you can follow Delmer home tonight. It's no problem. He'll give you his address. He's up at like 6 a.m. every day. So, but I'm just saying, your council members are here for that. They want to hear from you. Johnny, I mean, would you care if anybody just called you up and said, I just want to discuss this problem I'm having? It would make you feel like you kind of know more about what's going on and it's not just once a
one
month.
of my ideas and thinking is that, some homes are rentals.
Uh-huh.
So, we want to hold people who have rentals accountable for their tenants' upkeep, because if you don't live here, you might not care but you are affecting
Absolutely.
the property values. And most people, if you own your home, it's the largest single
Investment you
piece of
have.
investment that you have. It's very important. Now, I'm not looking to sell, so I'm not trying to get my neighbor to clean up his yard. I've already done that myself.
I can vouch that she did go over there and clean it.
Yes,
But
so I'm
gathered
doing
is
my
that,
part.
Kate
I'm
Brooks,
sorry?
That's what you do?
Yeah.
Yes, I did.
Very cool.
Kate Brooks.
I said, how
before-
can I help? And I
Yeah.
helped.
Heather, before Kay Brooks got killed, I learned a lot from her when she would sit on my porch and we would discuss things, how Greenback got started, how the community center got started, the fire department, the rescue squad. Little town of Greenback used to win beautification awards. So there's bound to be some ordinance in there on all these things that you're talking about. I know they are about the dogs, I know they are about the cars, but far as, I know you're an animal lover, and you would rescue an animal before you would an individual. You made that statement. We can't go on people's property and say, you cannot chain that dog up. Now, if you want to report them for abuse, now that's a different thing. But
I do know people who
So,
have dogs
but-
on chains that.
But I have lived
Treated
in
very well,
cities
yeah.
where there were ordinances that you could not leave your dog chained out more than 3 hours a day. So I don't see how we can say we can't do that. Because I've lived plenty of places where you couldn't do that without somebody coming and knocking on your, not that anybody did. And I'm not I'm trying to say, cast a wide net here, because I don't want anyone to, who watches this video to think I'm coming for your home or your property or telling you that you can't paint your house pink if you want
Right.
to. I mean, there are many things I don't care that you do, but there are just some standards of what would
Absolutely. We'll
would
get
affect
together,
your
let's just
neighbor
get
or
together
your-
on that, put some feelers out and see what we can get, and then we'll come
yeah,
back
y'all
to
could get you a committee.
on
and
it,
see
no
what you
problem.
can
I
come
love
up with.
committees.
And she loves them with me on them, right?
Okay, in our committee?
This all falls back to no communication.
Well, we've just lived in a town for so long that nothing went on and it's just revitalized and it's brought everybody to life and wants to see how it can be better after years of it not being able to be anything. So we're excited.
Yeah. I sat on this committee for 6 years,
Mm-hmm,
and I bet you 90% of the time, there was nobody here.
mm-hmm.
Nobody knew about it.
Yeah.
Right,
Yeah,
What's happening?
right.
well, it's changed now. It's good. We'll just keep on
Well-
trucking.
We got ordinance, and it takes a little while. That's just kind of like, I'll give you an example, the trail down here on
Right.
Morganton Road.
I was just about to bring
Yeah.
that.
That took a little bit of doing, but it wasn't a kind of a threat, but I'll put it this way. Jim Jenkins, the codes enforcer, he said, it's a new world in Greenback. He said, I'll back you. So I did fit just a little bit to the guy. I told him I'd take his property.
You're on video.
Anyway, that got him, after he cussed the policeman out, I had to straighten him out. And it got took care of. And in the meantime, they took care of another piece of property behind that one that wasn't included, but I got it too. So you have to kind of go with kid gloves, and you have to know the ordinance and stuff like that, and what Loudoun County, and then you've got to get the law to work with you.
Yeah,
And if the law ain't worked with you in 40 years, it's a new thing.
yeah.
But Tim Goddard has told me anytime of the day or night, 24/7, you call me. And I have called him on a couple of occasions and woke him up. So they're willing to work with us, but it's not going to be done overnight. Not like what we went through.
Well, we'll get going on it.
But we got ordinance, and Heather, if you want to come, just come to the office or ask one of the council members, we'll work with you.
And I'll work this winter to try to get those scanned in. I'll come in with a scanner and I'll just load them up. You got internet here, don't you?
Oh, yeah,
Oh, yeah.
but what I need is the block to put them in.
Okay,
A block to put the ordinances, the minutes, and the agenda.
okay. I can do that. On the
I've
website.
tried, and I'm going to mess it up.
We'll have workshop day. It'll be great.
You do it.
Okay.
Is there,
Okay.
I'm gonna go here and this one. I want to get everybody an update. A lot of the reason that I'm here tonight is I've worked with a lot of political offices in Nashville and Washington regarding all the flooding and everything that we had happen here last February. We're going to work with Marshall Blackburn's office and Lowell Russell and some other folks. And basically what we've come down to is that it was a wet year. It was a really wet year. It turns out though, even though with our drought that we had last fall, September and October, we still managed to have 2019 be a wet year. It seems like it's getting wet this year as well. We've got Marshall Blackburn's office to come to a point of revising the floodplain maps for Baker Street.
Oh, great.
Maybe. My only problem with it at this point is that I talked to a gentleman, he was from Blount County in this last year, that he had a house that he had owned for 40 years. He didn't even realize that it was in the floodplain. The only reason it is in the floodplain is uncontrolled development without any detention or retention facilities. Okay, so more impervious surfaces, you know, tearing down, getting rid of trees to make pastures, all of those sorts of things contribute to overall runoff. Okay. The other problem we've run into is this ash borer beetle. You know, this problem is going to resolve itself in 10, 15 years after all the trees fall and then they, you know, degrade and things change. But this gentleman, he didn't know he had to have flood insurance. His house ended up getting flooded. There was no notification. So what we're working with is FEMA to possibly upgrade the flood maps. But a lot of the problem we sit here in Loudoun County is that most of this is coming from Blount County. Majority of our watershed is in Blount County. I sat here last night, and how much rain did we get last night? We got about $1.40 in my place. Man, I know water came up, you know, kind of normal, but then 12 hours later, when everything comes down from Blount County, was when it really came up. And it's up to Tarwater Road. We're going to get a little more rain tonight, a little more tomorrow. But the problem that we're running into is this idea that no one's being notified about when the floodplain changes, why the floodplain changes. And at this point, you know, I basically got a 500-year floodplain on my property. And I bought it based on the flood maps and those sorts of things. So I wanted to bring this up to the city and everyone here before, you know, I go ahead and say, let's run from that. Let's go ahead and, you know, maybe this is something that should happen. You know, how it's enforced, what happens as far as, you know, great, now our floodplain changes and we can't do anything about it. And now my property is now 95% 500-year floodplain.
Right.
And now my property value just went down.
So it's kind of like a catch-22, because if it's not in floodplain and it floods, you don't have flood insurance, it doesn't cover it, but then you need to know if it's gonna flood, I'm assuming, so you can have insurance and be prepared.
You do, and this is part of what FEMA and they haven't been doing in this state. They really just haven't been doing. There haven't been a whole lot of enforcement.
Yeah.
You know, we've been seeing filling in the floodway. You know, not just filling in the floodplain.
Right.
Development from people like Blount County that's affecting Loudoun. Are they willing to come down here and help, you know, clean out the creek, spend money? I don't know. I'm quite sure not. So basically what we come into is that I worked with Lowell Russell a little bit. We just kind of spitballed this last week as far as coming up with a state law that shows that one county's unattention to floodwater management and runoff and things cannot affect another county adversely.
That's great.
And that's something that's not currently on the books. There's nothing out here to do it. You know, if Blount County says, hey, great, we're not going to do any detention or retention, and we're just going to throw it all on a little greenback down here who has a small budget, you know, to get to the creek, to get to the Fort Loudoun Lake, or excuse me, Telephone Lake, that they have to compensate for it. They have to come across and say, okay, we're going to pay to, you know, increase the capacity of this little creek. We're going to pay for some culverts, more bridges, you know, to take care of it. Or we're going to say, you know, we're going to spend some money, you know.
Well, it seems to me that would be a state thing, that the state's going
That
to
is a
have
state.
to regulate it.
That is the state.
You know, what can we do, and what, you know, if Blount County won't do it?
The only
And-
thing-
And who's above Blount County, Townsend, that's dumping theirs on Blount County. So it would be an ongoing thing across the.
It is, and that's the point that I'm making, is that it does become a state issue. And at this point, Loudoun, if we're sitting down here, Loudoun can't say that they're breaking the law because they don't have the drainage laws or retention or detention facilities. I mean, I see all these, our drainage basin goes all the way up to William Block Drive. Okay, so everything up here, so you're talking about Walmart, you're talking about the storage facility, you're talking about all these places that they go in and they just infill and infill and infill in 411. They're making the drainage, the storage areas smaller, they're adding impervious surfaces, and that's a good point. Loudoun could go and say, sue Blount County and say, hey, what do you want us to do with all this water? We can't handle it. They could do that, but I don't think that's the right way to do it. I don't think that encumbers Loudoun County to go and take care of, spend their money to go and sue Blount County. So that's what I'm trying to come across,
I
this
have,
idea.
right now, I
of
have
being county,
an
county,
ordinance
county.
in there for a floodplain.
Okay.
And I'm waiting for the okay from Loudoun County for us to vote on it. But I haven't gotten any word from them, but it is an updated floodplain ordinance.
Ordinance for floodplain
Mm-hmm.
basically states,
I don't know, I just got it, it's sitting in there waiting to, for the okay that we vote on.
okay.
I
It's
mean, I
gonna
can
be,
give you a copy of it if you'd like to
I would
see
love
it.
to see it. I would love to see it. It's been an interesting year. I mean, I've learned a lot. My background is in civil engineering and land development, and I've done all sort of wetlands and floodplain management over the years, but it's been interesting. So I guess I'd like to get some feedback as far as from the city and from, the residents as far as, should I push this issue?
I think
As a
it's
citizen.
an issue that's important to you. You should push it every time. I don't think you definitely should. It is important to you, for sure. And I think it would be important that you point out to other people in the area of what is going on with it. I'd love for you to go like on Greenback Speaks Out or some of the Facebook pages and just update people and keep people updated. I know that people watch this video, but I found that it seems to go a lot further if you get community involvement and a discussion going about it. And maybe you could even schedule a meeting for people who are interested in discussing that, and it is effective because there's always power in numbers. And even just put out a thing and say, I'm going to put a community center and let's come here and have a meeting about it. I think that would be the way to go. And I don't think that the city can do anything except what you're talking about with the ordinance, so you two should get together on that. But I would follow up and just get some feedback going, you know what I mean? It seems to me anytime I want things done in and around our community, I put it up there, I bring it up, and then you get people's reaction, and it just builds from there, and that's the route that I would take you to take, okay?
I don't think that some people realize the power of water. You know, and like, and
Unbelievable.
the effect of, cutting down trees and deforesting your land. I mean, I think people learn too late. I mean, just, if you want an image or something, think of the island of Haiti. They came in and they cut down all their trees to make money on their wood, but that's why when it's hurricane season, they have torrential flooding and deaths because the water just rushes down now and kills all people. Uplifting, but that's just
Yes, if you want, I can share it on the mayor's page, let's get out there and start kind of being
Let's
people.
see if we can, because this is it's been a hard fought battle, and I'm stuck, where I am. I don't like living here. I really, really do. And it has become a bit of an issue with us. We've been working with a lot. I mean, Mayor, I really appreciate you coming out and looking at things, and maybe not looking at beaver dams and all sorts of different things, trying to get this floodplain.
Well, I think we're,
here, and I think it's important, very important.
till the state decides what they want to do.
Mm-hmm.
I think we're just kind of, when we met with Laura Russell and all them, and
Yeah.
Lowell's good at what he's doing a good
Yeah, let him do
job.
that job, yeah.
And, he's not afraid to put it out there. But we've got this in our office waiting on Loudoun County.
Yep.
We're a little green back here, but I can truthfully say, down below my house, since they built Tellico Dam, I've never seen it flood before, again.
Really?
It come up under my pasture field. It's never been there since they built the dam.
Really?
I've never got there. You couldn't get by my road, it was closed.
Really?
Yep,
Before the dam?
before the dam. Yep.
Thank you.
So they must be, they're trying, but they can do more.
Yeah.
I think so too.
Yeah.
And right now, it just comes down to capacity issue.
Yeah.
With the trees, and I want to push it in the right direction. So, look forward. That's all.
Thank you.
Any more?
Any more? All right.
I make a motion we adjourn.
That's it.
All in
Couple
favor?
seconds.